What's up, everybody? You are see the title of the video. Yes, I'm doing Digimon What Ifs again. I will redo my Digiloud What If too. Let's get on started. We start this story off as we see a 6 to 7 year old boy as he screams at his Digimon and telling him to attack with UL Force V-Dramonic, the green shining fist. As he is an attack that basically does somewhat nothing against the monstrous Digimon they're fighting, Millenniumon, a chimera, freakish monster, one that definitely is a spite of evil and everything, a giant beast chimera of Machine Demon, some other type of Digimon. As we see two other boys, Ryo and Ken, with their Digimon, Gestamon, and the Mega level Gestamon and the Ultimate level Jewel V-mon. As Jewel V-mon is shot straight out of the sky by Millenniumon as he falls, reverting back to his rookie form. As Ken tries to run over to him, with Davis grabbing him, saying, "You'll just end up getting killed." Which the boy does look at him with anger, even though he knows he's right. As just as one not paying attention, the monster shoots out one massive beam of energy, infinity cannon, it shouts. As the next thing, the two boys scream as they scream out in fear for their lives, with Gestamon and Ryo trying to get to him in time. As everything goes white, as we see someone wake up, his eyes shining forward, with his long maroon-like hair, as he breathes heavily. As he says, "Nothing but a dream." Lets out a breath as he realizes that, as we see that this is now 13-year-old Daisuke / Davis Miyamoto. With his hair goes down somewhere to his neck, while it stays somewhat in shape, just going barely past his ears. Also, no, this is not my art, obviously. As he lets out a sigh of air as he gets up and goes to take a shower. As we see Daisuke takes off his shirt, we get a look at his back. As we see a massive scar running deep, massive scar that has healed over the years, but it goes all the way from the right above his, goes to his right, down below his right rib, all the way up to his left shoulder. As he starts saying, we also see just some smaller scars on him. Multiple scars he got from Digimon. As Daisuke still remembers what it was like when he got this scar. As he remembers of running from Millenniumon. As it jumped forward, lunging out its claw, he ducked down, but he still remembers the pain it was to have his back feel like it was being ripped open by the monster's claw. As Daisuke opens his eyes as the shower water starts to pour on his head. As he's thinking that today is just going to be another school year. As we see the somewhat empty, desperate look in his eye. The sadness, the sorrow. As this is when the water stops. This is when Daisuke finally feels that the water stops. And with this, his eyes turn to a golden, bright color. As a golden energy rises up in his hands as he tells whoever the hell is there, make your presence known. I would like to get back to my shower in peace. Hero of the digital world, something appears telling him a great evil resides once again. And hearing this, David just gets a vicious scowl on his face. "Don't call me that." He whistles with venom in his voice. As Daisuke has grown a most disdain taste for the digital world since his first lovely interrupting chapter his first lovely chapter of trauma there. which David's had 7 long years to hate, come up with new ways to vilely twist his already warped view of the digital world and make it into something of anger. A great foe you defeated once will rise once again. You must rise to the challenge. As the only great foe Suki can think about is Millenniumon. How? He's dead. Me, Rio, and Ken made sure of that. As David closes his hand in pure rage at the mention of him, as he remembers what happened between them all those 7 years ago. Unfortunately, you will have to save the digital world once again, as the figure disappears, as the Shadow Rider starts to run again. Damn it. Suki lets out. Stupid dog. Damn it is what Suki. Hold up. Damn it. Yeah. As after a couple more minutes, this is when Davis's sister, June. Also, I'm going to be switching between the English names and the Japanese names. As David says, his older sister, June, tells David that it's time for him to go. That he's been in the shower for like 30 minutes to get it out. Which Suki does, as he grabs his toothbrush and goes in his room to brush his teeth, putting on his shirt. Now then, June looks at her little brother and says, "Another nightmare?" "Yeah." David says before walking away. June remembers what happened that day. The day that Suki was sucked into their parents' computer after a strange device came in. He came in hours late. A couple hours later, after she was screaming Bloody Mary, wondering where her little brother went. He came in an hour late. A couple hours later, his hair grown, and the happy boy, that happy little 6-year-old that was her little brother, was replaced by something broken. Something sad. Destroyed by something. June knew that thanks to the growth in hair that Suki, and also quite literally seeing him be sucked through a computer screen, she knew he wasn't lying. And it only confirmed our fact when 3 years after that, the attack happened. My Osman attacked. They weren't in outer space, they were told not to tell them that. She didn't want her little brother to live through it. And because of the fact that she knew, she grew closer to her brother as him. She told them, especially after Suki asked how he was going to hide the scar on his back. So June decided to do almost everything with her little brother, even giving him basically big sister stuff, giving him baths, stuff like that. You know? That way so their parents wouldn't find out about the massive scar on their son's back and freak out. June's been the only person that Davis has been able to count on with his trauma. And she tries her best. She really does. She tries her best. She really does. But one person can't help with something like this. Her little brother was... Okay. Yep, just ignore that. Her little brother was something else. She still loved him. And she just needs to find a way to actually help them. We see Davis go into his room as he changes into his clothes. Basically, this. Yeah. Basically this. Putting square goggles on his head. And as he opens a hatch in the drawer. Actually, no, he opens something in the floor using the golden energy to seep through it, which opens something. He built this in secret. As Davis opens up, he basically sealed this part of the floor with his power. As he opens it, he sees things that he wished he burned when he had the chance, but just couldn't. He sees a torn up cape. He sees a torn up, dirty, scrounged up, folded cape. Along with that, on top of it, is multiple photos of his time in the digital world, with Rin, with Rio, Ken. But on top of everything else, it's his Digivice. On top of everything else, his Digivice and his crest. Davis didn't have a partner anymore after the final battle with Millenniumon. But for whatever reason, his crest art Digivice didn't destroy. But Davis knew that whatever was happening, if he needed to be the one to save both worlds again, he would have to don this. Even though he hated the fact he had to pick it up. You know, hate the fact that he had to hold. Give me a minute. Someone's out there for you. Someone's out there for you. Dude in the white truck. Oh. Nasty little shit. Alright, let's get back into this. As Suzuki gives a breath as he grabs the Digivice and Chris, putting it on and hiding it under his shirt. One more this is the last time. David says as he squeezed the Digivice. Digivice looks like a mixture of the one. Yeah, Digivice has 2 buttons on it. It looks mostly like the one that the original kids had, except it's in the shape of the Digimon Tamer's Digivice, along with the fact that it has a golden V on it with a orangish golden band running from it. As Davis clips it to his belt as he walks out, ready to get to school. Once he walks out, he opens the door and sees a 13-year-old Hikari. Damn it, I forgot that last name. Hikari, whose nickname is Kari. She's wearing what she wears in canon. So, yeah. Hikari's been Davis' best friend even before he went to the digital, and before he was sucked into that horrible, hellish place. As Davis can't help but feel a burning passion in his heart for the girl, but decides not to tell her. As Hikari says hi, that she immediately notices that Davis has eye bags. As she asks him if he had a nightmare again, which David responds with a yes. As they start walking to school. As they have a conversation away about Davis's nightmares, he tells her not to worry about it. He's fine. He promises. Hikari doesn't believe him, but she knows she probably won't get an answer out of him while he's being like this, so that's not. Even though she is worried. As we see the 2 part ways. As Hikari looks at Davis while he's walking off to go play soccer with some of his other friends, a blush appearing on her face, before being brought in by a saddened look. What's wrong with... I wish you could tell me what's wrong, Hikari said in a whisper before walking off to go hang out with some of her friends. Now then, things between TK, Yoli, and Goldie go the same. I will be using... some of the characters will only have their English without voice names, since I can't for life of me remember their Japanese ones. Okay. Like June, who's Davis' older sister. Hell yeah. Let's get back onto this. As we skip time forward, as this is when we see TK looking at Davis, wondering what why he looks like Ty. As the ball comes toward him, he catches it. As Davis comes over and says, I haven't seen you before, you know? But TK giving a yes. As Davis reaches, good catch. As he kicks the ball back from him, reaches out his hand, saying that he's Davis Miyamoto. When TK relevantly said, shaking his head, telling him his name, as the 2 part ways, as he thinks, that kid can never be as good as Ty. he thinks. As David gives a strangely strong kick for a 13-year-old against the ball. Oh, also, if you're wondering if Davis has some muscles, yes, he does. That boy is packed. Boy is yoked under that jacket. As we skip the time, as we see Davis says, "Hey, we're in the same class." As they have their canon interaction, which ends with Davis putting his head down on the desk and trying to fall asleep, until he hears something. Our teacher looks like an ogre mind from TK, as his eyes shoot up with the goat somewhat appearing in them. What? He goes to ghost and think, I'll look into this later. He thinks. As we see, time passes with Davis walking in, as we see TK and Kari having a chat. As he says, hey buddy, not menacing or anything, before going to his locker. It's TK Davis, not buddy. Kari gives him a slight response. Alright. Hey TT, he says. As TK wondering where he got TT from, it's TK. As Davis tells him that doesn't really make sense since he's Takaro Takashi. So wouldn't that be TT instead of TK? As he asks where did that come from. And also asks him how he knows Kari. Which things go off in canon with Davis explained that he's known Kari since he was about they met before they went to the digital world, so a couple of years before. And yeah, so I say about 4 or 5 a year before. I actually know it. Say they met 4 or 5, and they were supposed to pull into the digital world at 6. So they're friends for a couple. They've been best friends for years now. As TK gets a little twink in his eye, he's jealous. How cute, Davis thinks in his head. This is when some things go similar to canon. Like I said, Davis being to the digital world won't change that. Ken, however, is still evil, but oh boy, we'll get into something. He'll still have the evil spore, but he'll also have his own reasons to where it make believable he turned evil on his own. Somewhat. As we see Yoli run into this locker room, as she says, things go in canon. Except Davis almost rips the door. He almost rips his locker door thing off. As Kari says, we have to go help my brother. God damn it. Well, Kami, damn it. Oh, yeah, no, since Kami means God in Japanese. Kami, damn it. So, yeah, no, thank you, TFS, for an amazing name. As Davis says, Kami, damn it, before running off for him. Sometimes I use this as a joke, sometimes I have him say, actually, yeah, But yeah, that's Davis. He was running off towards his best friend and her other best friend with the young girl in tow. As this is when we see Izzy pop up, telling him he got the distress signal too. Things go on. This is when you only ask, what's the digital world? As Davis, with some severe malice in his voice, says it's a digital... No, it's not a theme park. It's a digital world with living beings and creatures. All shapes and sizes, some destructive, some not. As Kari wonders how Davis knows of this. As Kari was wanting to tell Davis for so long what happened on that summer, but couldn't because the other Ty and Sora stopped her, saying that it kind of be wrong to make a normal let someone know who's not really involved in it know. So she wanted to know for years, and she thinks that Ty may have accidentally told him, which makes her angry, until Davis pulls something out, his own Digivice with his chain on. Davis, you're Digidestined? Really? Digidestined? No, as Davis doesn't have time to reveal on a kind of stupid name, but also on the exact same time, as he tells Izzy that as he starts helping Izzy open the gate. Once he does, he tells Izzy that he'll need him to stay here in case the gate can close it so he can open it back, forcefully rip it back open. As he sees Kari and TK open the gate with Davis being like looking at it, glitching the digivice with anger. As he remembers something that Zulangmon told him during their journey, that you can choose whether or not to help, but if he gives him some kind of holy speech, I don't know, I'm not that type of person to give it. So Davis chooses to help in this situation, trying to protect Ty and Kari, which he is somewhat angry that the digital world dragged more of the people he knew into their shit, but we'll get back into that later. As we see Davis go through the Digigate, his clothes change. As Davis, when he lands, he reveals to be in somewhat similar clothes he was all those years ago. A black jacket with somewhat blackish red flames, reddish bluish flames, sprinkled down on a cooler design than one he had, along with a black cloak with a hood on it. The Suki also sports some type of combat boots with black pants and black fingerless gloves. Oh, how ironic. Back in what I was wearing back then, he thinks. As he gives a sight sigh, as he looks off, and as he starts pressing his digivice, as it opens up a portal, Kari starts messing with it, as it opens up a portal, a tab as they start walking, with TK asking Davis how long has he been a Digidestined, where he find his digivice, with Davis not really giving a shit or telling him anything. So yeah. Yeah. As they keep walking, this is when they finally find Ty and Patamon, Gatomon, and Agumon. So I take it that Gatomon's your Digimon partner. As Ty wonders, Davis, what are you doing here? As he's about to get angry at Kari, as Kari tells him that Davis has been Digidestined. Is a Digidestined. As Kari then asks Davis, where's his partner? Which leads to Davis freezing as he says, don't worry about it. Now, then this tips all three of them off if they've seen this before with TK after Patamon died the first time. Is he dead? They think mainly TK. As we see them get to the cave, as things go off in canon, but during this, Davis feels something. Feels something he hasn't felt for a long 7 years. As he looks at it with somewhat fear and sadness, as everyone tries to pick it up, as he walks forward and grabs it. This turns it as energy in Davis' hand starts to flare up uncontrollably as some of it turns orange as Davis pulls it up. This is when he sees him, a blue pirate, small dragon with a V on its chest. As Davis looks in complete and total shock as he remembers what happened that day. Shining V-Force, Ultra Force V-Mon screams out as he ends up clashing with V-mon, destroying the monster. But in turn, as V-mon looks at his partner, knowing that was the every last bit of strength, he tells Davis he's sorry before disappearing permanently. As well, he's in Davis's arm when he just is destroyed. As Davis looks at him in pure pain, but then remembering that Digimon are reborn until he hears the fateful words from Gigimon. V-mon used all of his strength. He can never be reborn again. As Davis is remembering that, as we see the parallel, as we see at both times things happen, the tears sprouting from both Davis's eyes, from the present and past. Past Davis collapsed on the floor. Davis almost immediately grabs V-mon after grabs V-mon, enveloping him in kind of a bone-crushing hug as they cry. Mainly Davis, happy that V-mon is back. Now, this definitely throws something off for Kari. Yes, Davis has never been the person to wear any emotion besides some fake happiness on his sleeves. Besides some happiness. So, this getting someone like Davis to cry emotionally ends up setting something off on her. And she wonders what Davis isn't telling her. As Davis gets up, drying his tears, as this is when we switch to Ken. Miyamoto, he says with venom in his voice as he slams down his head and says, "Send the rider." I forgot the volcano mod. The volcano rhino mod, whatever the hell they're called. This is in hundreds. I don't care. Just get Miyamoto, he says in venom. With Wormmon looking at the side, looking over it. Hold up, I gotta do something real quick. Hold up. Put it back. Put my fucking bike back. I don't care. I'm not letting you ride on it again after you popped it the last time. Fatso. Alright, besides that, let's get back into this. As Davis said, now then, yes, the talk about the not being able to digivolve is going off, but Davis kind of forgot. As you said, he seen the Raidramon bursting, coming at them as, well, not the Raidramon, whatever the hell they're called. Volcanomon, right? I forgot. This would be easy, Davis said. As he rips the Digivice, he tells V-mon to Digivolve, but he hears a dent beeping sound out of his Digivice. Oh shit. He thinks, as V-mon does tell him, remember, use the armor Digivolution. As Davis does remember that he's holding the egg in his head. V-mon, I don't know if you know, but I kind of forgot. He screams out. Yell Digi-armor energized. As one V-mon shouts that Davis remembers. As we see a silhouette of past Davis on him as he screams, as they both scream out at the exact same time, Digi-armor energized. As we see V-mon in a blackish void with armored evolution on it. As we see him come flying down with the elemental of courage right there. As they both merge into one, creating a giant fireball that ends up turning into, well, even more huge fire. As it flips and lands, the fire then colonnades and merges. The fire then starts to meld into something. Armor growth, with the armor bursting out of the flames, with blue hands under them. That's now transformed V-mon yells out, Flamedramon. Oh. Flamedramon. And Flamedramon kind of takes off the collars easily. Like, he just straight up mollywops the collars off of them. It's that easy. Oh, that fat little shit, I'm gonna beat his fucking ass. As he melts the collars off, as when we see the Digi crew walking back. Boy. As TK can't help but feel jealous as Davis was able to handle all of that on his own after getting his partner back. As Kari looks at Davis, noticing that he's different somehow, with a blush appearing on her face. As they walk through the portal, Davis tells Flamedramon to stay here and protect them, with him giving it all right and telling him that he won't Digivolve. As we see the humans head back, telling the others what happened. Oh, also, yeah, the other Digivices screamed out. And so the other ones are explaining what's what, you know. And that's where the I started off. Mar 13.